What's up, milkers? Welcome back to another fantastic episode.
What's up?
The beer this week is a flightless one. It's called Penguin Faces Due South, and it's brought to us by the hardworking people of the Corporate Ladder Brewing Company of Palmetto, Florida. This is an imperial stout aged on hazelnuts, coffee, vanilla beans, and marshmallow. It has an ABV of 12% and a Cummcast rating of 4.5 out of 5. As always, we support drinking responsibly, and if you want to see all the brews that I'm reviewing, you can follow me on Untapped at Craft Guru 58. Welcome to the show, everyone. Let's get into it with our good buddy, Jeff LaFave.
How you doing, folks?
A.K.A. Squeeze Your Bum, A.K.A. Bum Squeezy.
Some might know me as the B-Tone Moose.
Let's get into the show.
We've got like a new beer every other week, which is really fun.
Oh,
too.
so you had a blueberry vanilla Berliner, and then what was the other one that you just came out with?
Gingerbread stout.
Yes, that was it.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
That
Go
it,
back.
I have not had that yet, but all of the stouts they've released so far, the Nitro, the Coconut, the Mexican,
Yes.
the Dunkel, fucking amazing.
Yes.
I'm really a fan.
Good. Yeah, it's
Very
really good.
good.
I was pleasantly pleased when I went to see you on the first day you guys were officially open. I was very, very pleased with everything that I had.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, Alex been the most customer out of all of us that's been there.
Because he went there with me, and then
He's
went
there like every
last
day.
week, yeah. But I know because I think you got a good thing going, because especially like the setup, it's huge. Like you wouldn't think it's that big, but once you get in there, like you have an upfront seating, and then you also have like all the tables down low, like on the ramp. So if somebody wanted to have a party or something, it'd be perfect for it. And I think you guys also have like an optional room
Yeah,
or something.
we've got an
too.
event room. It's just tucked away so privately, even with the door open, it's like you still have that separate sort of vibe, if you will.
It's like the when you go to a Golden Corral and you had a private party and they shut the doors so that you could have like an actual private
Oh my
party.
God,
And you're like,
yes.
what's going on back there?
So everybody can stuff their face in peace.
It's like the party room at an old school Pizza Hut. It's
Yeah.
like that's literally what it
Yes.
is. That's exactly what it feels like.
Man, I have not been to Golden Corral in forever. That's neither here nor there. Will it kill me?
I'd say it will, because last time I ate it, I felt like shit. But everybody's
That's
like, "Oh man,
Yeah.
Golden Corral."
They're
Yeah,
like,
I get to
oh,
go in Golden Corral.
Like as soon as I moved here, I had to go to the Golden Corral in our hometown, and because the one in our hometown has been nationally ranked for almost our entire lives. And
Nationally ranked Golden Corral.
when we were growing up, it was number 1 for a very long time, and then it was number 2, nationally ranked. And
Whose job is this?
it was
Somebody.
it was the so the reason why it was so highly ranked is they had the same manager at that Golden Corral in our hometown for like 25 years.
The LeBron James of Golden Corral.
Seriously.
Just consistent
He kinda-
greatness.
Yeah, but he ran it like a tight ship, and he was very nice, very polite. And then in the past probably 6 or 7 years, he finally retired because he's like, I've been doing this for a long time. It's time for me to retire. I'm an old man.
Yeah.
And a new GM was hired, and immediately it just went down the shitter. Like, for some reason, the food tasted different. It tasted cheaper. It didn't
Less
taste
frozen.
Right. And believe it or not, when the old general manager was there and running everything was made fresh. Nothing was kept out too long. Like, it was literally like running a ship. And Ryan and I, when we were lived together for a while, we were working. We wanted something cheap. We figured out that if you go later in the morning, you pay for breakfast, which is the cheapest buffet, and you stay for half an hour, then they switch it over to lunch.
Oh,
You
that's
get-
devious.
You get breakfast and lunch.
you
That's
get breakfast.
devious.
But that's the thing, we get to see them switch it out, and they have to do it within like 3 minutes or something like
Yes.
that.
Wow.
He said so that GM set a timer, and they have 2 to 3 minutes. The entire staff comes out of the kitchen besides probably the dishwashers. And they would switch that entire bar over in just a couple minutes. And he would time them. And he's like, come on, let's go, let's go. Everybody would come out of that back room and switch the entire buffet from breakfast to lunch. They had everything ready.
Went from bacon to Bourbon Street chicken real quick.
And even the guys cooking the steak, because the Golden Corral in our hometown had the actual like steak grill. They were cooking steak 10 minutes before, so that they knew at 11 o'clock they were ready to go.
That's serious stuff.
And they even said, like, give us 2 minutes and we'll have everything switched over. So people will just go back to the table, wait 2 minutes, and when they come back, everything is completely fresh.
And that was the thing. As soon as, like, at, like, 10:50 or whatever, they'd be like, oh, you guys want rolls? They just come out. So within 10 minutes,
please.
This is like, they would just come out. They would have them ready at 10:50, and within 10 minutes, they would just have them ready to go.
Yeah. But we figured that out, that we could get breakfast and lunch for the same price, which back then I think was $9 for breakfast. And now it's like...
No, I think it's 13.
13, but now it's like, now dinner is like very expensive actually. It's almost $20.
I want to play Price is Right. $22.95 doesn't sound bad.
No, not at all.
Now we got to figure this out for sake.
But it was kind of like polarizing in a way to have them so like well organized that they were ready to go and it had it all switched out. But the general manager was always very nice. And that place was always ran very well, very organized, and the servers were always great. And then just, when the new GM took over and the old one left, it just immediately didn't taste right. It didn't taste as fresh. It felt like it was left out too long. And surprisingly enough, the freshest thing at the Golden Corral was the meatloaf. They actually made the meatloaf from scratch.
That's one of the main things that they do make from scratch.
Yeah, that's one of the main things that they made from scratch was the meatloaf, and the meatloaf was fucking spot on.
Well, see, I would assume of all the things that they made there, that might be the one that's most full of like preservative and string and sawdust.
No, it was absolutely delicious every time because that was one of the things that they always made fresh every day.
And that was the thing during like high school and 2 days, like 2 or 3 times out of the 2 weeks we had 2 days, we would go to Golden Corral. There would be like 5 or 6 of us from the football team, sweaty and gross, and we just go to Golden Corral and stay there for like 3 hours.
Because we could afford it. We were high school kids. We could afford it. And it was very cool. And even sometimes the old general manager, if they didn't have somebody to slice the prime rib, he enjoyed slicing the prime rib. So
oh my god!
You would have the GM slicing a prime rib for you and putting it on your plate. It was crazy.
That's like being cast as the lead in Peter Pan. It's like you get to slice the prime rib. Hooray! I'm the star.
Yeah,
I'm never gonna grow up.
I don't want to grow up.
I'm gonna stay young forever.
Speaking of an adult dinner, I just learned at Golden Corral is $16.99.
$16.99.
Yeah, Monday through Saturday. I don't know what they do on Sunday.
When we were in high school, I believe it was like $12.99.
Yeah,
inflation, of course, but the breakfast was like $9. So Ryan and I would literally eat breakfast for $20, and then they switch it over to lunch 30 minutes later. By the time we finished our first plate, and we're eating breakfast.
Best of both worlds.
You got coffee, and then you get the burger.
Yeah, it was insane, and we were the first. I think we were probably. That Golden Corral was the first one in the country to get the coveted chocolate fountain.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we were like the first one.
I haven't even eaten one, but I know there's just all sorts of like sprinkles and shit just caked at the bottom.
Well,
kids who can't aim.
And it's worse than that. In the summertime, there's definitely some bugs in the bottom of that thing that are getting circulated.
And the second I saw some little kids stuck their hand in there, I was just like, no, thank you.
Yeah,
this little kid, we were just getting dessert, and this little kid Ryan was actually going to go to the chocolate fountain and like coat like a Rice Krispie treat in chocolate.
Like one would in shit.
Yes. And then he just watches this kid just take his whole fucking hand and just stick it in the chocolate fountain and lick it off his fingers. And then he goes back to do it like double dip, do it again, and his mom grabs him and takes him back to his table with a chocolate covered hand.
No, thank you.
That's like the visual image in the dictionary of parenting.
Yeah.
That is exactly what you have to deal with as a parent.
Yeah. And then we would always play the grabby claw game on the way out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Always. We would always do that. That, and they changed their secret. They had this really good like cinnamon butter that was made fresh, like it was mixed by people. Now it's fucking margarine based, and it comes in like a cup. It's gross.
Yeah.
So gross. As soon as they changed that, I was like, this was literally like the one key thing that you think about is the Golden Corral rolls, and you say send them down, and they bring you containers of like whipped cinnamon butter.
And now it tastes like old chew.
Yeah. It tastes like oily cinnamon.
Yeah.
I once pissed off a guy at Ponderosa, similar concept.
Yes.
That worked there because I was a little kid. But I was a little kid. I just like wanted to go get my fill, and I thought you were supposed to use the same spoon, but I didn't really get the logistics, so I just went and give me that mac and cheese. Use the same spoon. Give me the mashed potatoes, same spoon. Give me ice cream, and it's just like you are fucking causing a huge mess.
Everything up.
Yeah.
Now we have to scoop half of this away.
Yeah, I could go and
Ponderosa, in college we had one.
We did.
We had one in town in college, and everybody called it Ponderosa, and I just thought that was funny. And then we went for the first time.
We went there all the time, though.
No, we went there all the time because we didn't think it was gross. It was actually not bad.
No, it wasn't bad.
And then, the concept of like, unlike Golden Corral, like if you want to order a steak meal, they'll cook you a steak meal, but you can also have the buffet,
Yeah.
which is like kind of a cool concept. And then for a while in our hometown, we also had a Shoney's.
Oh, Shoney's breakfast buffet was undefeated.
Yeah, old school like regional chain Shoney's, and we had the best cinnamon toast sticks. Like, I don't know why. They were just insane. That's all I would eat when we would go there.
You're a kid. You want the sugar.
Yeah. And then we were driving to Florida, and there happened to be a Shoney's by our hotel, and we were with our dad, and we went there, and it just wasn't the same.
That's the thing about Shoney's. Shoney's served alcohol. So you could go into a Shoney's and get drunk, and then,
Yeah, they had a bar.
I'm just imagining a buffet of alcohols where someone's delicately selecting the right Modelo bottle. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Is this the Smirnoff shooter I wanted?
Yeah, I'll take both.
And I feel like if Holiday World, like in Indiana, like Santa Claus, Indiana, sold alcohol, it would like sales would go fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like you just had a bar, like at the Turkey Leg restaurant.
Oh yeah, I know exactly the restaurant you're talking about.
It's an actual restaurant. I forget what it's called. Like
Turkey Leg restaurant.
B. It's like it starts with a B, like something like that, where they sell turkey. It's a buffet. It's like turkey legs.
Yeah, corn. Everything's mashed potatoes. Yeah, mashed potatoes. It's all Thanksgiving stuff there.
Yeah.
You can get like a big Chipotle famous bowl or whatever. Just all the ingredients.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
But it's an actual like restaurant name, but I can't remember. It's like a buffet, and they always sell turkey legs. I can't remember what it's called.
And then this also reminds me of thinking of like buffets and fast food chains is also in our hometown for the longest time. Our KFC was old school, and it still had a buffet that you could order. You could pay the buffet price and eat KFC buffet. Or you could just order whatever off the menu. But our KFC for a very long time, I don't know if they have it anymore, but into the mid to late 2000s, still had a buffet in our KFC, and it was still set up old school, not new.
Yeah.
It was insane. They updated the outside, but the inside was still like everything was pastels and speckled and fake plants. And,
that's the dream.
Yeah.
Heat lamps and crusty sauces that have been spilled onto the floor.
Yes.
That's what I want for my dining establishment.
Exactly. Now everything's tiled because it's easy to clean. No, you want to walk in Old Gravy.
Do you think Golden Corral will ever upbrand to be nice and sleek like Chipotle or something? Look like a Whole Foods in there?
They've redone the logo, and they've kind of updated the inside a little bit. At least the last time I went into ours in our hometown, the last time they updated it, like they updated the logo and they updated the inside a little bit, but everything still kind of looks the same. Like I feel like updating the entire inside of something like an establishment that big would be like a massive overhaul. I know they updated the countertops at the buffet and like redid the glass and everything like that around it, but ours is still literally like everything's made out of wood. Everything's old school, black tables, black padded chairs.
Have you heard about Steak and Shake? I don't even know how many people are all so pissed off about Steak and Shake because they turned into McDonald's.
They don't use ceramic plates anymore.
So it's like they don't have servers anymore. So it's like McDonald's, you just go up to a fucking robot and order your shit and then pick it up whenever it's ready or sit down and they'll bring it to you or whatever like that. They don't have waiters and waitresses anymore. So it's just like you order at a menu and it's like McDonald's. You just pick it up.
Yeah.
Everybody's all been out of shape about that.
I will say though, in college I had a buddy that worked at Steak and Shake, and I was like, hey, is that real? He goes, no, man, it's real. Like, we make the burgers into little balls every morning. The morning shift does it, and they roll them into little balls. And then when I get there, he was one of the grill guys. He's like, no, we just take however many patties go on a burger every single time, and it's made to order. And he's like, we just smash them on the griddle. He's like, they're literally come, the beef literally comes like in a giant container, and you just make balls fresh that morning, and then the person comes and just throws them on the grill.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that was their whole saying, like, when in sight, it must be right.
Mm-hmm.
I do like being able to watch the people cook the food.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I feel like there's any more accountability that will keep someone from spitting into my food. I really don't care. I'm going to eat it anyway. But it is nice to kind of, in a way, be part of that process.
There's also something about, like, the smash burger and the shoestring fries, and you just finish it off with a shake.
Yeah, it's classic.
And I think that's where Freddy's is coming in, like Freddy's milk
Steak burgers.
Yeah. It's the same thing as Steak and Shake, but they still have people that come and take your order and shit like that.
Yeah.
So, remember Huddle House though?
Oh God.
In the hotel?
Huddle House is the country bumpkin white Waffle House.
Yes.
There was a Huddle House on the east side of Indy my father used to go to around 2007.
Mm-hmm.
He'd go at like 4 a.m. because of his welding job, and he was the only person there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we would go in college. We had one in that town, and we would go at 3
Fucked up, obviously.
Fucked up, yeah. We were
not on the way to weld.
Do you remember that time though? Because we were going to Huddle House.
We were completely smashed.
We were going to Huddle House though, and he was driving, which I should have been driving. Yeah. But he was driving, and a train.
We do not condone drunk driving, by the way.
Yes, but
it's
this
not
was
a good practice.
We can't get arrested for this because this is past 10 years. Anyway, so he was driving, and I should have been driving, but he was driving, and a train, and Vincennes, the trains still run all the time.
Yeah.
And it goes straight through the middle of town, so you could be on one side of the street, train coming through, and you're fucked. So
the Polar Express just cock-blocked us on the way to Huddle House.
It did.
There's like, when we were in college, there was like 40-something trains a day that would go through that tiny town.
Damn.
But it was like,
a lot of them were brand new cars.
Yeah. But it was like 2 a.m, and we're driving, and we come across the train. We're like, fuck. Well, we need to back up and go around. And there was a guy working on, like, the box right there, that the arms move or something. I don't know what the fuck he was doing there.
He was with the railway, and I think there's the electrical box for the actual the train blinker and the bell and stuff like that, and he was working on that electrical box. There must have been some kind of issue because it was like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And he was working on that box. It was probably some kind of emergency.
But we pulled up to this train, and we're sitting there for like 5 minutes. We're like, we're going to go around. So Cody backs up and then kind of tries to swing around, but there's like an auto body shop there, and they have like a delivery service, and it was just a rock wall that kind of cascaded down. And Cody didn't see it and dropped off of that wall.
Oh, shit.
And bottomed out on this wall.
Great job.
All we hear is, and I was like, fuck it, let me out. So I get out, and he's just one tire hanging down on this fucking rock wall, and he's like, I'm gonna put it in 4-wheel drive. So I finally puts it in 4-wheel drive and kind of turns the wheel and finally like gets out of there, and we're like looking under the truck and all this shit, and I was like, fuck it, it's fine. And so we go ahead and we go to that old house. But
yeah, and then years later I had friends that stayed.
I remember you broke it.
Yeah,
you broke that rock wall.
I broke part of the concrete
and we went back
wall.
And it was still broke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They never fixed it. We left the block just sitting there.
Well.
And he goes, the train guy working, he's like, you guys all right? I'm like, yeah, we're good. I think we're just stuck. I didn't see this wall here. But he was a whole tire off of the ground.
Jesus.
Yes. In a big truck.
Yeah.
In a big truck. And there was like 4 of us packed in. There's like 4 of these people packed in the back. There's like 5 of us going there.
Yeah.
And we're like running 5 deep. Yeah, it was insane.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of funny. Good memories.
Glad y'all are okay.
Oh yeah, we're fine. We didn't get.
We had Huddle House after that.
Yeah,
We're good.
that's good.
We didn't get in trouble.
Breakfast of champions.
Cool. Nothing says drunk food like grits
and an omelet.
Grits and an omelet. And the funny thing about the Huddle House, it was like conjoined next to like a seedy hotel.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was
perfect.
It was a very like
you
dive,
could literally
like
if you walked through the other end of the Huddle House, it was the hotel lounge.
Yeah. So it was very like a drug hotel kind of vibes.
Oh yeah, it's right off the highway.
Yeah. Where the hotel lobby was inside, but the rest of it's just outside, and you got to go to your room. So like a motel.
Oh my god!
It's like, oh, you want to go to the lounge? Take a stroll through the Huddle House.
Grab your winter coat.
Take a stroll through the Huddle House and take a right.
But I remember a guy in college, they would meet at that hotel and like he would have sex with his girlfriend at that hotel. And I'm like, that's disgusting.
Yeah,
Like, you go to the Huddle House there? I'm like, no, we thought about it.
There's a Holiday Inn downtown.
Yeah. Showing up at the Huddle House with sex hair and smelling like coochie for trying not to act like you just fucked.
Yeah. There was literally a Holiday
Extra.
There was literally a Holiday Inn Express right down the road, like downtown, off the highway. All they had to do was drive down the highway a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right, no, we're gonna we're just gonna live in this, motel for a day, and then right next to the ice cream shop where all the high school girls were.
God,
that's what it was. It was motel, across the street, ice cream shop, and then right next to that was Big Red.
yeah, that's a actualized society at play.
Yeah. And then, like, the cultural, like, student thing, there was this, which no longer exists, by the way. The last time I went, I was craving one because I hadn't had it in years. And I don't drink soda, like, at all. But just for shits and giggles, that town has a brewery now. So I like to go there and down there and just check out what they have.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, I just like to go drive down there because it's an hour and a half drive. It's not terrible. So I just like to go down there and have some food and have some of their beer every once in a while. And the last time I was there, I was like, man, I really want to try this soda. It was a place that was called Zip and Sip. And it was just a town, family-owned little chain. There was like 3 little just drive-ups. It was just a little drive-up building. There was 3 of them located all around town. And they would take different sodas, and they had a whole menu of flavorings. You could have any soda, tea, whatever, and they would put these flavorings in there to make some like weird, like wacky combination.
Marshmallow sweet tea, extra marshmallow.
Marshmallow sweet tea.
Chicken salad caramel. Like, I'm sure you could have one.
And they just serve like ballpark food, like hot dogs and nachos, like just at like a concession stand.
Okay.
For like snacks. And you just pull up and you'd order whatever and you'd get the big 40-ounce like styrofoam cup full of like marshmallow sweet tea, or I did watermelon Big Red, and it was just like the craziest combinations you could think of.
That one building was probably about as big as this room. It wasn't very big.
No, it wasn't big at all, and it was like a very cultural, like small town thing. Because it was a university, like a what do you call it? A junior college university inside of this tiny little farm town, and they have all these amenities from the junior college that's there. But then once all the students are gone, it's just a tiny little farm town.
Which is crazy though, because like Vincennes had a B-Dubs, and it was always fucking packed.
Yeah,
they had a B-Dubs there, and in like a strip mall kind of thing.
Yeah,
and like it's still there.
Yeah.
So,
and then now the last time I went, they were actually completely closed and they don't exist anymore. And I was really sad.
Are they not there?
This was like no, the Zip and Sip.
Oh, the Zip and Sip.
Like Zip and Sip doesn't exist anymore. And I was extremely sad because I was like, this was like a cultural thing where everybody just load up and we'd go get a soda mixed with whatever flavoring combination. We just like go back to our dorm and drink our soda and play Xbox, or like go to a park and watch some squirrels fuck in a tree.
It's the intentional act of having something to look forward to. You're going to be thinking all day, what flavors do I want?
Exactly.
Because I can only like really pick 1 or 2 tonight.
Because it was just about like me and Cody and like everybody else was just like a country bumpkin or like something like that. And I'm like, hey, you want to go Zip and Sip and get those marshmallow sweet teas? We all just load up and like, let me get 6 marshmallow sweet teas. Yeah. And it was just like, we just load up and go get a Zip and Sip.
Yeah,
and
super fun. Home. It was super fun. Yeah, it made me really sad that they were closed. I was like, man, I really just wanted a marshmallow sweet tea one more time. Mm-hmm. And I graduated in 2015, so it's been a long time. It's been 8 years. So it's like, I haven't had this in 8 years, and I'm never going to get to have it again. Yeah. Super sad.
Yeah.
I can still taste it on my tongue.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's all the reason it is to support local. You know, Buffalo Wild Wings will always have all their sauces all over the world. Yeah. There will never be another Zip and Sip.
Nope. Exactly. Sad. We need to reopen it. Need to reopen it.
Good.
We would probably do okay. You would probably do okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. With the amount of soda drinkers in this world, you would probably do okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And then we could just like sneak shots of vodka and every other one.
Perfect.
Good. Yeah.
You want it strong or not strong? Strong.
I'm 12! I'm sorry, kid. It's the luck of the draw.
Yeah.
Smeared off for Tito's.
You know what we could do, though? We could just sell bottles of Underberg and fucking get away with it.
Yeah.
Because it is, which I adore that Heartwork has an Underberg.
It's so good.
It is. And I was like, well, you don't need an alcohol license. And I was like, yeah, because it's just like an herbal bitter.
It is technically 44 proof.
41.
41 proof.
Yeah, 41%.
It's like Dr. McGillicuddy's old cough syrup remedy from God knows when.
But it's just counted as an herbal bitter.
Yeah.
You're basically taking shots of vanilla extract.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. They've basically taken Jaeger and dehydrated it down into a tiny bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's insane.
That checks out, actually.
Yeah, seriously.
And I was like,
when I explain Underbergs to people, they're just like, what's the taste like? I was like, you know Jaeger? And they're like, yeah. I was like, take a whole bottle of it and then shrink it down to a shot.
Yeah. Is that like a Bloomington special or something like that? Or because
Underbergs are everywhere.
I've only seen Underberg and Bloomington.
Well, there's a few bars that really take pride in them. Notably, I'd say the Blockhouse and Heartwork at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know the Sinkhole also has Underberg.
That's right. The Sinkhole as well.
Mm-hmm. The Sinkhole actually has gotten like notable credit for selling so many Underbergs that they got a little like Underberg old school car with a wagon behind it, and you get so many after you collect the caps after people drink them.
We collect the caps at the Blockhouse. I've been collecting them for more than a year as part of working there. I was told on very, very day one to be sure not to add any to the giant bin unless you know how many have been added.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like one of those like Sam's Club cheese poof tubs just stuffed to the neck with all these cups.
Do you have to like write it down with like a tally on it?
Here's the story is that apparently in that first week I started, someone, and it wasn't me, added a handful or two in there without counting, and so now we got to go back and find a day to count them. But it's been a year, so we're just probably never going to do that. We started a separate bowl, I fist you not, where it's just like we will count the caps and then we'll just kind of start over with this one. And so now we have a second bowl that we just haven't even bothered to count yet. An additional one that we still have to count. It's a whole mess. I want to take that bowl and put it back in, but then we're back to square one here about collecting. Yeah. I'm not coming in on my day off to count 18,000 bottle caps.
And the caps are literally Tic Tac size.
Yes.
So just imagine collecting, just for people that don't know about Underbergs, just imagine like dumping out an entire like pile of Tic Tacs and counting every single one.
Yeah.
Like half the size of a candy corn.
It's
not
like
even
the head of a
size.
Lego figurine.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. And just picture counting all of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the definition of insanity.
You gotta go set it down and it starts rolling a little bit. It's like, no, come back.
Come back. Back in.
No, it went under the table. Fine.
Count it. I fist you not. I swear.
It's the best thing I've heard today.
That is.
I fist you not.
I fist you not.
Do you appreciate that I gave you the artwork coaster?
I do appreciate it. It's very kind of you. Thank you.
I was like, I'm going to save this for Jeff.
Hey, I'm glad you're stealing coasters and not
I was going to say, I stole one too.
Oh yeah, I guess I did steal that.
No, the coasters are fine. Coasters are cheap, but like there's a problem with like brand new place in town and beautiful glassware where everyone's like, what if I stole it?
What if I stole an 8-inch tall alchemist glass? Honey, how big is your purse?
They'll never know. It only has the name of where I stole it from. It is only sold in that shape.
I was going to say, Cody's got a couple suspicious glasses that he might not have paid for.
I don't know. So the only thing I actually steal is coasters now. I don't steal glassware.
The coasters are fine. Odds are after 2 or 3 uses, they get all smushy and you got to throw them out.
I have had, so some of these coasters, I have like a stack of coasters in this pile. Some of these coasters are actually older than this podcast. This podcast will be 5 years old in April. And
that's a lot of cum.
This specific,
that's a lot of cum.
This specific one.
I fist you not.
So this specific one is from the Columbus Craft Beer Fest. And this is in 2019. That was held in 2019. And we were doing this podcast at that time. But this specific coaster is from that.
What's Hot Burst?
Hot Burst, that's Hot Burst. This is from this is the Apocalypse IPA. It's a West Coast IPA. This is from 10 Barrel Brewing in Boise. So that's where I got this one from.
I was gonna say we got the
but some of these are specifically from that first ever. That was so Columbus, Indiana Craft Beer Fest is Ryan and I's first craft beer fest we ever went to back in 2019.
That was
and
fun.
It's also the last one they ever had, as far as I know.
We got fucked up because that was our first one, and we showed up. We're like, oh yeah, we'll be fine. We don't need food or anything. And we got about 10 stalls in after taking shots. I was like, man, shots of beer can really fuck you up.
They add up.
Didn't we get back and went to a birthday party?
If you have to ask, then were you really there?
I don't remember.
We went somewhere. We met our mom somewhere. I think we met our mom at the boat club in our hometown, and they were having like a birthday party after.
I don't remember because we went there and
we went somewhere afterwards.
Like
I remember dancing.
Everybody like it started like they were like, all right, go, and everybody went to bumfuck Egypt all the way at the end, and we're like, oh, we're just gonna start here. So we started
seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously, everybody went to the very end because I don't know if they knew there was something over there.
I think they did. I just think they started.
I think their mentality was to go to the end and then start at the very
that way
front.
you don't have to backtrack when you're trying to leave.
But everybody went to
everybody.
The end.
So we were just like, we're just going to start here. We started at the very first one. And then by the time we were almost done, everybody started finally meeting us.
Yeah.
And that's when we figured out the pretzel necklace thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're not allowed to bring outside food unless you're wearing it. And I mean, some of these peoples were like intense. Some
dude's got like a bullet vest made out of sausage.
He had little pretzels, he had big pretzels, and he had Slim Jims.
He had whole Slim Jims.
Yeah.
So
but I remember that one guy's broke and it all fell on the ground and he was like, oh man, and Cody's like, I ain't scared, and he just walked over there in the mud and picked it up and fucking ate it.
Good.
Starving.
But anyway, yeah, we got about 10 stations in, like 10 spots in. I was like, oh man, I'm fucked up.
Because when that happens though, when you, like, if you've never been to a craft beer fest, or if you have, when you go to one that's not occupied and you don't have to wait in line, you can sit there and take your time and literally try everything this place has to offer because there's nobody waiting in line and you don't feel like a dick. Yeah. So those first like 5 or 6, nobody was in line and nobody was waiting.
They are just waiting to give you their product for free. That's why they have woken up early. They are ecstatic to say, yes, please try our Kolsch. So we want you to have this.
So by that time, we were literally trying like 4 to 5 that each booth had, and everybody's like going the opposite way. And I was like, we're gonna try everything these people have because why the fuck not? It's our first one.
You plan on coming back just to get the red ale?
Yeah, and that's the thing. We had to walk. We had to walk like half a mile to get there, so we had to park, walk half a mile. We're sitting there in line, and then
did you drive home later?
Oh yeah, we did for sure. We ate.
That's the moral of today's story.
But that's what I mean. Like
we ate before we left.
We got about 10 stations in, and then we're like, oh man, we are fucked up. And then I was like, let's go see what these, because they had food vendor tents there. I was like, let's go see what this lady has. And they're like, what do you have? And she's like, I have, buffalo chicken mac and cheese?
No, pulled pork
mac and cheese. So she was just like,
it was a catering. It was just a small catering business.
So she just put mac and cheese and then pulled pork on top of it. And it was like, how much? And she's like, $5 each. And I was like, nice.
So that is a price I can.
Seriously, she's like pulled pork mac and cheese. I was like, give me 2.
Yeah.
So make it strong.
And then we went back later. We went back later and got another one because they were $5, and it was like a whole bowl of like mac and cheese with pulled pork on top. And I was like, fucking give me 2. Yeah. And then we go back later and we're like, we want one more.
Excellent.
But later
that's compliments to the chef.
And then after we ate, we kept going, and then we ended up getting food somewhere. I can't remember where we went, but we sat down at this table with this other couple, and then it was funny because she was like,
"Oh God, I remember."
She was like, "Oh God, do you care if we pray?" And I was like, "No, I don't care." And then her husband was like, No, we don't have to do that with these strangers. And it was like, it's like, it's okay. They're going to do it. So we prayed with these people and then we ate. And
her husband literally just gives her the side eye, like, not in public.
This Jesus guy again.
Yeah. No, but they were a super nice couple. Like, oh, we're getting ready to eat. Do you care if do you want to pray with us? And I was like, sure. And her husband's just like, oh.
Jesus.
Her husband's just like, no. And they're like, no, it's okay. We can do it. And they were super nice. And they were talking about beer. And I was like, you
started getting into your mead fucking shit.
Oh, yeah. That's when I started making mead. And so we were talking about making mead. And she gave me her phone number. She's like, well, if you ever make some, just call me. And I was like, we have never seen them again.
We have done. I remember what they look like.
No, not at all. But I remember praying at a picnic table in the middle of all these drunk people.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
I remember that.
And you know what's the saying? A bar in every church and a church in every bar.
Yeah. Yeah. So, needless to say, Columbus Craft Beer Fest in 2019 was a religious experience.
It was.
Oh, I see what you did there. It was very nice. I've never really been to a proper beer fest, but I did go to the former Sahara Mart's wine and beer fest they held in their parking lot.
That's super cool.
It was $5. And it was under a big, like, wedding bar mitzvah tent.
Mm-hmm.
And they just had, like, their employees pouring samples of every single thing they sold. And the pours were irresponsible. And the quality was way too nice for me to be enjoying at age, like, 24.
You could have also, like, you could have just walked home at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, and Sahara Mart's no longer there, but they were
Is
known.
And for story correction, this was the one on the east side. Now it is a World Foods, the one you're thinking of.
Okay. So it's a World Foods now, and
expired food from every continent.
I was gonna say the one downtown, because I know the one downtown, right by Big Red, like right across from Big Red.
Yeah,
that's where a guy I used to work with. He was from Nigeria. That's where he would go to get his snails, because Nigeria is like they love snails or something like that. They just
also his favorite food was.
It was sardines. It was so you toast your bread, butter, grape jelly.
It's great so far.
And then sardines.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
You lost me at sardines.
It's salty and sweet and fatty.
It's like a Count in Monte Cristo, but shittier.
But it is. Minus the powdered sugar. But he would go there to get his snails, and he brought in snails and rice one time. And that was the most spiciest shit I've ever had in my entire fucking life.
You tried snail?
Yeah, it's like
I heard it tastes like snot and bubblegum.
Earthy and rubbery. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool. Like, because Sahara Mart was always known for having like very nice wine and like a giant craft beer selection.
Yeah.
And like bulk coffee from like different places. And
that was basically all I used it for, is wine, coffee, beer, and they had an interesting soda selection.
Okay.
A lot of Jones soda flavors or artisan hop waters or even like, really weird branded like Snot Booger Cola, and it's just green.
We knew a guy that was on Jones soda.
Yeah, we went to high school with a guy who was a skateboarder, and they went him and his twin brother went semi-pro, and one of them was featured on the label of Jones soda.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I remember the early days you could submit your own photos, and a lot of people chose really artistic, like Polaroids.
Well, we know a guy, or we know a girl who used to work at Cook, or she still works at Cook, and they had a pet feature of Jones Soda, and she put in her cat, and her cat got featured on Jones Soda.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And I went to college with a guy who was a major stoner, and he's the
didn't we all?
He's the definition. I think I never.
They got Jones Soda.
I never.
And he was handicapped.
He had MS, multiple sclerosis, and
he wrestled, which is crazy.
Just one's pretty bad.
Yeah.
So
going to hell.
Fuck yes, you are.
He essentially so he was like, he wrestled in high school and then started getting MS later in high school, and by the time he was in college he could still walk a little bit but not much. And this is our freshman year of college, fresh out of high school, when we meet him. He was the definition of smoking yourself stupid.
Yes.
He was definitely intelligent in certain aspects. He his light on life was just unbeknownst to anybody else. Like, he was just happy to be here, and which was phenomenal. He was just happy to be there, and it was phenomenal. We took him to Walmart, and he said, I had to get groceries. Can you guys take me to Walmart? So he had a motorized scooter that was funded by his government funding, and he just got a brand new scooter.
3 wheels, mind you.
Yeah, 3 wheels. And he just got a brand new motorized scooter, and he was like, you can't pull up to, because we were like, can we just pull through campus to your dorm? And he's like, no, they won't let you do that. We tried it. So we went to my truck, we let him in the truck, and then me and another guy picked it up and put it in the back of my truck so we could take him to Walmart and get groceries. We're walking, he's rolling in his scooter through Walmart, we're just following him because we're just like grabbing stuff we need, and he's like, oh, I need this, this, and this. I'm like, okay. And we're getting to the soda section, and he sees the Jones soda across the aisle, and he scooters across the aisle, almost hits a lady in her cart. And almost hits a lady in her cart, and he just goes, Jones soda, man! And just and just wheels across, almost runs over a lady. We're like, we're so sorry. Wheels over to it. He's like, man, I gotta get like 3 cases of this, dude. And we're like, all right. So we grab him like a couple of cases of it, and he wheels across. Mind you, he's fucking high off his rocker.
Yeah.
And we get to the checkout, we take him back, and this was when Taco Bell brought back out their chicken flatbreads.
Yeah.
I remember that time.
But the one at Vincennes was Taco Bell KFC, so you could get both.
Yeah.
And the good chicken, probably.
Yes.
It was dope.
So that's when they brought it back. So he's like, let's stop by Taco Bell, man. I was like, what do you want? He goes, 6 chicken flatbreads. We're like,
this guy's meal planning. I love it.
And
Jones
was,
Southern flatbread.
and he's not a big guy. He's fucking tiny.
Super tiny.
So we take him back, and then we like drop off his groceries, and he had like a live-in nurse for him and everything too. He goes, oh, that's just Gary. Whatever. And we're just hanging out with him, and we leave, and we go to hang out with some other people. And then another circumstance with him was we were all just hanging out, sitting on, we call it the bricks, and because the entire campus, it's the first college in Indiana, the entire campus, the sidewalk is made out of brick.
Yeah.
And so we're just hanging out, sitting at a table. He's stoned. He sees us. It's the middle of the day.
Yeah,
There's like 10 of us just hanging out, talking.
The squirrel.
He sees a squirrel minding his own fucking business, walking through the grass because squirrels, they didn't run away. They just stood there and looked at you.
They're socialized by people.
Yeah.
Like, they're not scared of you.
Squirrel's just hanging out, and he goes, oh shit, man, look, a squirrel. And he's fucking stoned. And we're all just hanging out. We're like, where are you going? And takes off on his scooter, almost runs people over that are walking on the sidewalk. It's the middle of the day. Almost runs people over. He's chasing the squirrel through campus as it's running away from him. And he's going around in circles, chasing the squirrel, going through the grass, dodging people, about to run him over.
You got a real joy to vivre with this man.
Yes.
And nothing can stop him.
And then the climax is the squirrel runs there's a bush on the side of the building. He runs into the bush to hide from this guy on this machine.
Of course!
And
he's just fucking plows
from
into
this cyborg predator.
He plows. He takes off after the squirrel. Squirrel runs through the bush. The kid literally drives through the grass and hammers into the bush and hits the wall.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Hits the wall head first, and then he backs up, and the squirrel runs off. He still thinks it's in there, backs up and hammers into the fucking side of the building again. In the scooter, into the bush.
Yeah.
At what point is y'all, as his friends, step up and like try to help?
Oh, we just let him go.
Yeah.
We let him go.
He was having fun.
Okay.
The dude has no legs. Let him have some fun.
Were you
That's
with
fair.
him that one time that he fell into the river?
No, I wasn't there. But I do remember I said something to him. I was being a smartass to him one time, and it was a 3-wheeled scooter, so once you get one wheel off and the other wheel off, you just kind of fucking flip over. And he flipped it and crashed it so many times. But I said something smartass to him, and of course he's fucked up as usual. And he turns to look at me and he goes, fuck you, but he's so fucked up you don't get like the full bird.
Yeah.
You get like a half a bird. So it's like, fuck you, man. And he drives off the edge of the sidewalk with that one wheel and hits the other wheel and it just goes boom and right into a fucking fence.
Oh my god.
And half the people are sitting there laughing and the other half are trying to pick him back up off
They're like,
the
oh my
ground.
god, don't laugh at him. I'm like,
he's my friend. I can laugh at him.
He's also like a really big, he was like, during that time, he was a really big metalhead, so he was very just like, fuck you, I'm gonna do what I want.
Yeah, I'm a chaos man.
Yeah. But I guess they went, because our college was right on the banks of the Wabash River. It's what connected Indiana to Illinois across the river. And they were like going to go smoke weed at this park, and they decided to go around this brick wall that separates the river. And there's just like this ledge of grass.
Basically,
the bank of the river.
Yeah, it's basically a levee.
Yeah, basically it's a levee, and they're just riding along the bank of the river, and the water's right here. And it was like muddy and it was getting dark, and they were like, well, let's turn around and go back. So as he's turning around in his scooter, one wheel catches the edge of the bank and dirt falls, and he just falls right into the fucking mud in his scooter and everything. And they get back, they're like, what happened? They're like, oh, he fell into the river.
Dude's rock.
Yeah.
No, dude, that kid was fucking hilarious.
I remember you let your goldfish on the river too.
Oh,
they probably
died.
fucking died.
I told somebody about that. They're
Yeah!
I mean,
It's a prank.
Wasn't it like a science experiment or some crazy shit?
yeah, it was a fake piranha. I was too
Yeah.
broke to buy a Pacu. But
they're
so
like,
I told somebody that story recently, and they're like, goldfish can't live in a river. It's too dirty. And I was like, oh, he probably floated to the surface as soon as I drove away.
Yeah, just immediately down and back up again.
That's the thing.
I seen him take off, and I was like, the story as I told the story, I was like, there might be a 12-foot cat or 12-foot goldfish.
Yeah, because I remember we let your goldfish go, and then we just proceeded to like shoot fireworks at each other down there by the river.
You guys are like Hoosier Hardy Boys. This is fucking wild.
I had a potato gun, and we'd shoot potatoes across the river in Illinois.
What else would you shoot from a potato gun?
Nothing.
Tennis balls.
Yeah.
Quinoa.
Yeah.
And then it was completely makeshift. So basically, how a potato gun works, if you've never used one, is you spray white rain hairspray into the base and you screw it tight.
Anything.
And
brake,
then you use
brake starter.
Yeah,
anything.
and then you use a grill lighter and snap it, and it sparks and shoots a potato out because, explosion, a massive object in the way, shoots out.
Yeah.
Well, it was
Physics plus pain equals comedy.
Yes. And timing.
You got me on that one.
And so we were just spraying hairspray in it, and it was kind of makeshift with PVC and electrical tape. And sometimes the electrical tape would burn away, so there'd be a gap in the PVC.
Oh, that's
every
nice
once
and safe.
Every once in a while, somebody would get burned.
God.
From the explosion in our hands.
Duct tape melts every once in a while.
I don't know how, but somehow the PVC stayed together, and nobody got their fucking hand blown off.
Yeah. Done lost my arm to the tater gun. That's why I'm here working.
Everybody has that. Everybody has that.
Welcome to heaven. What happened to you, potato gun?
Potato gun.
Yeah.
Hey, we gotta have a talk with the big man about this potato gun.
They're decreasing the population at an extraordinary rate.
Yeah, for sure.
We're gonna have to write another testament if this keeps up.
Thou shalt not potato gun.
Don't.
Thou shalt not use potato guns.
Yeah. All right, you want to take a quick pee break?
Yeah, I'll take a quick break. The Fast Food Chronicles.
We are back with the Fast Food Chronicles, that's for sure. We've been talking about a lot of shit on this episode.
Yeah, you can get a hold of me. We're gonna have a Christmas episode, and then what have we done just besides think of like some awesome food?
That's what it is. Buffets and fucking like a hometown fucking closed down like sweet tea shops.
Yeah, drunken escapades.
Yes, that's it. Like college times humor and all
But if
that
you think
shit.
about it, it's going to come out on Christmas Day, so it will be a Christmas episode no matter what.
I'm just glad my parents are dead, so I can't disappoint them. Further. But no, it's a pleasure to be here with you guys. I do appreciate it.
Yeah.
I will be on Christmas Day, service employee here. I'll probably just be delighted to not have to go to work.
Yeah.
Sleep in.
We're closed on Christmas Day, too.
I was going to say, I'm taking the whole week after Christmas and after Christmas off.
These regular day workers taking
Yeah.
go all the way till day after
2
New
weeks
Year's
at a
until I go
time.
back to
No.
work. I had some PTO.
Just to reset their shitty lives.
Oh, shit.
As if I'm not doing that. The laundry on the chair has become a national monument in my room. I need a day to do laundry. Christmas might be that day.
One day you're going to scale it and put your own little flag on top.
That's my cat.
That's my cat.
It's like, this is my chair, asshole.
Yeah, I'm living up the
This is
clothes
my
hamper right
laundry.
now. Yeah, living up the clothes hamper. That's a thing.
Yeah,
living out of the clothes hamper is a thing. It really is. I've had the same clothes in the dryer for the past, 4 days. All I do is do the spin cycle to heat them up, and then I pick something out.
There you go.
The clothes have been dried 8 times.
Yeah.
There's no way they're not still wet.
They're just begging for to be put out of their mercy. Please just donate me to Goodwill if you're not going to wear me. I can't do the dryer again, boss.
Just take me out the dryer.
I can't do it.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things I've taken 2 trips in the past 2 weeks. And this is the first actual, they're done now. And I've actually had solid time to do stuff around the house. So it's one of those things I get home, I'm like, okay, dishes, vacuum, clean out the shit box for the cat. And I have to do laundry because I have no clean clothes anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Are we recording now?
Yeah.
Okay. And I have no clean clothes anymore. So, I have to do laundry. So, in the middle of doing all that other stuff, I'm like, okay, I have to switch it to the dryer. And then by the time I get done with everything else for that day, I'm like, okay, you're just staying in the dryer for right now.
Yeah.
I'll put you away at another point.
You're safe here.
Yeah, because now, once I got back, it was immediately back to work as I have to go back to work and I enjoy what I do, but also B, like, I need money because I just spent it all on two separate trips over 2 weeks. So, and then once you go to work, you're getting back into the swing and things. So it's kind of like everything's thrown off. So you're just like, I just got to wake up and I got to make sure I make food for myself and go back to work the next day.
Yeah.
So I've been working like almost every day since I got back, and I've been back for it'll be a week tomorrow, so I've been working almost every day after that. So
yeah,
just resetting the house, and I got it reset Monday when I was off. I was off on Monday, so I finally got everything like reset and cleaned and everything like that. So I feel better about myself now.
Good.
So
good.
Yeah, you just gotta have that daily reset. But yeah, it's good. It's good. So, Jeff, everyone. I remember
for our special Christmas episode, a lot of Christmas shit we've been talking about.
Jingle, jingle, everybody.
Yeah. I remember we were going to have like an actual like episode to where like, let's interview Jeff. This is not that episode.
We kind of have.
We can kind of have.
I do appreciate that I'm no longer seen as a novelty, but I'm just kind of a mainstay where
You've never been novelty.
Aww.
You've never been
But like,
just antique-ish.
Can you imagine if you were just remember that one time?
You're the thing that the old lady sets on the table. Appraise this.
I don't know. Old ladies do love me.
You're just going to be that one thing. It's like, remember that one time we did that Halloween podcast 2 times in a row?
Yeah. Rapid Ass Goblins.
Rapid Ass Goblins banging for the win!
Woo! And so I was like,
Streak!
I was actually sitting at Chipotle today, as I am like every day, and I was trying to think of just topics for a Christmas episode, because this is a centuries-old Germanic holiday, pagan New roots. We kind of talked it into death, but I started asking myself some deep questions that I think would really upset a lot of people about Christmas. How old is Santa Claus?
Infinite.
So he was just born Santa Claus, or was has he always been Santa Claus?
Like Jesus. Always been
He
Santa
came
Claus.
out of the womb as Santa Claus.
No, what about Mrs. Claus? Was she like Mrs. Claus, Princess of Wales,
I don't know.
or like a separate person?
I feel like that hoe changes every 25 years when he gets sick of her.
So it's more of like a Playboy Mansion thing at the
Pretty
North
much,
Pole.
yeah.
Mrs. Claus.
Yeah, and get some new twang up in there.
He is the man with all the toys.
Oh, for sure.
Got sexual real fast.
And then
we didn't say what kind of toys.
Yeah.
No.
It's like Santa's just making dildos.
A lot of gag gifts, yeah.
Everybody gets a dildo.
The one complaint the toy factory has is the elves keep stealing the dildos.
God.
But I don't know why you keep stealing them. We don't have batteries in the North Pole.
Where are they hiding?
Yeah, butt plugs are in this year.
We don't have batteries in the North Pole. Meanwhile, everybody's just on the make line building a fucking birdhouse and everybody's just vibrating.
Yeah.
God.
We ran out of dildos. Everybody's just grabbing cucumbers and like silicone in them.
At one of the bars I work at, I found a remote to one of those vibrating like panty butt plug deals.
Oh yeah.
And I picked it up because I'm just like, careful, we can't let this fall into the wrong hands.
Right.
And I show my coworkers, and every time they're just like, can I tap it? Can I tap it? It's like, no, you can't. That's in somebody.
I feel like the range on that is like 30 feet, so it's like Bluetooth headphones.
If it's like a busy night, you're just like, it's like when you're it's like when you're coming out of the airport, you're just trying to find your car, like click, 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 you're standing behind the bar, and you're just like, boop, 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 boop,
yeah.
Seeing who's going like,
let's see who jumps.
God. Anyway, so like, I guess Christmas is what I'm getting at. Can I order sex toys from Santa? Do you think you would bring that to me if I've been a good boy?
He might.
Or a bad boy?
Yeah, both.
Yeah.
I think you have to be both.
I'm
on the naughty. I'm on the naughty and the nice.
I think
list.
you have to be on the naughty list for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he just brings you gift cards for Cirillos. Yeah. Probably.
There you go.
He's like Jeffrey, really nice.
There's the naughty, the nice, and the super nice.
There's a super nice.
Yeah. Super nice list. Yeah.
Next question. Why does Rudolph think he's fucking better than everybody?
Because his nose lights up.
Yeah, but the whole point of the story is that we need to treat each other equally. And then it's like, but I'm fucking cool. We just immediately forgot the lesson of Rudolph.
I guess, and that's the thing. His nose is just like a dim headlight. So it's like
we unanimously support the one reindeer that has a raging cold year round.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's the origin story of the Kleenex commercial.
Yeah.
That's why Kleenexes were.
Oh, you're talking about like the claymation one where Rudolph's like, I got him, and he goes.
Yeah, exactly. And all the elves have red noses because they just have constant colds.
Herbie wants to be a dentist. What are the classic Christmas commercials?
Classic Christmas Coca-Cola.
Yeah. We got the Hershey Kisses bell ringing.
All I can think of is that scene from the movie Elf. Bye, buddy. I hope you find your dad.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Norwal.
I was gonna say next week will be a Christmas Horror Story week.
Yeah, I watch the movie Christmas Horror Story every Christmas Eve.
Okay.
It's a goodie.
What's it about?
It is
has multiple stories.
It has multiple. There is 3 separate stories being told at the same time. One's a ghost story. It all happens on Christmas Eve.
I would say Poltergeist.
It all happens on Christmas Eve in the movie. One story is a poltergeist. One story involving kids. One story
Krampus
is Krampus. And the other story is Santa Claus's story, and he fights zombie elves, and then at the end of the movie he fights Krampus.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then
there's one more. What is it? The kid. What are they called?
Oh, Changeling.
Yeah, Changeling.
The Changeling story.
That's another story.
So
too.
there's another, and all of these.
But it's all encompassing. So it's like the Poltergeist story is wrapped.
Everybody's
like
connected.
A bunch of other stuff.
Everybody in this whole story is connected in some way to every other story happening.
I see.
Everything is connected, whether they know the person or it happened to that person.
In the Santaverse.
Yes.
Or they're related or whatever.
Yeah. And you know,
it's very good, honestly.
It's a very good, well put together B movie.
Okay.
It really is.
Okay, because I thought it was going to be like a real ironic hate watch, but if it's good, I'll check it out.
It's very good because it's like there's a poltergeist aspect to it where there's like a haunting, and every Christmas Eve they go down to this
it's
haunted
actually
place.
kind of scary in a way.
Like, there's another time where like there's this old German lady who still believes in Krampus, and Krampus is real, and there's another one where it's like
William Shatner is a radio DJ in it.
William Shatner, radio DJ.
Yeah, William Shatner is a radio DJ that just gets drunk on scotch while he's like advertising the Christmas radio.
But
station.
it shows like the good side of Christmas, and then it shows like the bad side where everybody's stressed out and becomes like kind of serial killer-ish.
And then the ending of the movie wraps it all up with one giant fucking loophole.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
It's
an amazing finish.
Cool.
Very
amazing.
I'm going to have to check it out.
Yeah, it's called Christmas Horror Story. I think you can find it like on Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Video. I have the DVD and I watch it every year for Christmas Eve.
It's good.
While we're talking about ghosts and Christmas, I always kind of had a weird qualm about the ghost of Christmas past. Or the ghosts of. Yeah. So the ghost of Christmas future, we're all ghosts of the future, technically. Is it just some dude? But it was also just a weird progression to me.
And that's the weird thing, because like in A Christmas Carol, he's like, all my stuff can, like, 3,000 brothers and sisters kind of thing. So it's like, he's like the 3,000th, like, ghost of Christmas past. I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, I love just the progression of the ghost, where the first one is like, you used to be such a sweet boy. The second one is just kind of like, you're not a great boss. And the third one is like, I'm a robot that thinks everyone should die on the street. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Christmas future is kind of intense.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I think the best rendition of that movie is either the Jim Carrey animated one or the Muppets.
I've heard the Muppets one has a lot of acclaim.
The Muppets is pretty good.
Have you seen the Muppets one?
But also the Amazon Prime one with old boy, I can't remember his name, where they spend like an hour and a half on the second ghost is a good one too. But I watched the Muppets one last week, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stick with Muppets. And then I watched Muppet Treasure Island. Muppet Treasure Island is 10 times better than Muppet's Christmas Carol.
But there's no holiday for it.
No, but it has fucking Tim Curry in it.
Yeah, there is. It's February.
Yeah,
you go to hell.
But
March.
Yeah, but Tim Curry's the one-legged pirate, which I fucking love Tim Curry.
I love the motif of a movie where the Muppets are the main cast, but one human is still just like the human.
It's just there.
So if you had to pick a movie to replace all the cast members with Muppets, but keep one original actor or actress.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, who are you going to keep?
Frodo.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. I would have gone with The Godfather with Marlon Brando.
Yes.
Surrounded by Muppets.
That'd be really good. That would be really good.
Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes.
Yeah.
Harry Potter, but the one real character is Hagrid.
That's perfect. Dexter, or whatever the weird one with the glasses and cheesy poof hair, can be Harry Potter.
Yeah. I would totally do that one.
Kermit the Wizard here.
Yeah.
Can you imagine just Voldemort being just like a stuffed puppet?
Yeah, it's a Sam Eagle.
There's There's not even a real snake in the Sorcerer's Stone. There's not even a real snake. It's just a fucking puppet.
It's just a slinky that they put eyes on.
Yeah, and can you imagine just Hagrid riding a stuffed griffin?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was pretty good.
This is Buckbeak.
It's just Rolf.
I think Gonzo would be better. Gonzo with wings.
Yeah, he keeps crashing his broomstick into like higher buildings.
Yeah.
And then that's the thing, you have to create like this comedic edge to it too.
Yeah.
You have to. That's like the whole point. Yeah, any of those like, Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones and the only real character is Daenerys Targaryen.
Played by Miss Piggy. Come on. He was with me. That could be great.
What's the little guy's name?
There's a lot of little
In
guys
Game
in
of
the
Thrones.
Muppets.
I was
Game of
gonna
Thrones.
say Warwick Davis.
No, in Game of Thrones.
I can't remember his name. But
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage.
Peter
So
Dinklage.
everybody else- Dinklage is the only real character.
He's the only real character.
Yeah.
They're all the same size.
Yeah. That's the thing about Muppet Treasure Island is like everything talks in that movie. The alligators talk in that movie.
Yeah.
The butterflies talk in that fucking movie. Like everything talks in the movie.
I love that like Tim Curry and Michael Caine had a little bit of leisure to be like this is you can take this serious role. You're an acclaimed actor. You can be funny.
Mm-hmm.
You can be funny, and they played it as serious as car crashes. Like, each time, it's like they turned in just a tour de force of acting for a Muppet movie.
Yeah.
Serious faces, tones.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that so much. That's a good idea. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your favorite thing about Christmas, Jeff?
Favorite thing about Christmas. I'm a sucker for snow. I really
Yeah.
like when it snows on Christmas, and it's one thing if there was snow on the ground before, or if it flakes a little. I need to have just like organically magical snow on Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a log cabin out in the woods with my family, so we were like always bought into winter snug culture. Everything was like flannel and had mooses and trees on all of our decor, so when it actually snowed, it's like, this is it. This is what we aim for.
Right.
If I had to pick a real answer that can't be determined by the weather, I'd have to say that despite a lot of romantic Victorian traditions and pagan traditions that live on, you can do whatever you want with it, and it's acceptable. I have a small family now, so most Christmases, would really scare a lot of people to be like, I'm just going to be alone today. But I'm completely fine with it. I love having a day where I can put on a movie, I'm going to grill a steak for no reason. It's Monday afternoon. Screw it. I'm going to have a steak. There are sometimes bar crawls afterwards for people in the service industry, and that's whatever. But it's nice to spend the day and then go out and see people you like.
Mm-hmm.
How about y'all?
Yep.
I think for me, Christmas, it's in a way, it's been part of, like, getting together with family, but in a way it hasn't been. I think Christmas, in a way, for me, has just been to enjoy time with people.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be family, because, now that we're older, family doesn't get together a lot, or they're arguing about something, or they hate each other
Always.
for this stupid reason that happened 6 months ago, and everybody's in a fight about it. I think for me, it's just enjoying people no matter what, even if it's like, or just enjoying your day, enjoying your time off because you don't have to work, and it's just having a day in the middle of winter where you can just do what you want to do if you don't have to work, and just enjoy your day.
People kind of look at New Year's Eve as like the party for surviving the year, but I really think Christmas is that holiday. Christmas wouldn't work if it happened in October.
Yeah.
For some reason, to me, it's the fact that it's 1 week to go to the end of the year.
Yeah.
Everyone's pretty much off work anyway. Just whatever you want to do with your time, do it.
Yeah.
After a few years after we lost my father, the idea of like a traditional Christmas had just been T-boned.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of phoning it in or pretending to oneself would have happened. So we just had what we called an open house, where we had literally our open house to anyone who wanted to come by Christmas Eve. And I was surprised just how many people I knew who had parents or siblings that they had not lost yet that would still come over because they felt like they were in a broken home. Even
Right.
My perception, them being, they're perfect, they're happy. But it was also just kind of this weird house party holiday for a minute where you could do whatever you want. We played Halo. We played Twister. We ordered pizza and tipped like 100%. We went into Dad's liquor cabinet. We, went outside and had a snowball fight. We threw darts at the wall without a dartboard. We were just having fun,
That's awesome.
It was wild. But I kind of wish I could have the energy to do a Christmas open house or have the space, because right now I live in a 900 square foot house and that's 2 other people and not a lot of room for open houses.
Right. What about for you, Ryan?
I think for mine, there's just, for some reason, it just brings people together. Everybody gets in some kind of little chipper mood, so everybody's a little bit happier, a little bit, more nicer and stuff like that. And I just like buying gifts for people. I don't like getting stuff, but I like buying stuff for people.
It's kind of weird how growing up that is an attitude that's very real.
Mm-hmm.
I had more fun picking out my Secret Santa gift than for what I got, and that's not sour grapes about what I got.
Right.
But I really enjoyed just like taking a minute and thinking about what can I do for this person?
Mm-hmm.
What can I tell them and how can I make them
making
feel?
somebody else's, position better or life better, or, making them smile or happy or whatever.
While we're on this topic, I did a Secret Santa at work and I ended up picking my boss. So it's kind of like weird pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Came in after a few days of me I knew, but he didn't know. And he's just like, "Oh, hey Jeff, I'm going around just telling people what I want for Christmas this year, just in case you're my Secret Santa." And I'm just like, he knows, doesn't he? And he's just like, "I want one of those moon lamps. It's shaped like the moon and it lights up." And I'm like, "Cool, I guess. Do you really mean that?" Yeah, I went and checked his online Amazon wish list, and that was the number one thing. And so I ordered it without missing a beat. What they didn't tell you is that the side of the box says, "The moon represents my heart." I'm just like, I got screwed big time trying to come onto my boss.
That's awesome.
But I did love picking it out for him because I got it to him and he just opened it at work and plugged it in and started changing colors. And I'm like, cool. Nailed it. This rules.
Yeah. I think for me, like Christmas even has never really been like my big holiday. My big holiday is actually just Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, because it also gets people together. Everybody just eats food until they're full, and then they eat some more, and they just, have some beers or watch a football game and just enjoy time with each other. But I it's the same concept, but with Christmas, it still means something.
Yeah.
It's just not my particularly favorite holiday. And especially what they say, people just kind of, like Ryan said, forget about what's going on and just enjoy your friends and your family, and just for one night you can just enjoy people, unless you're kind of like our family, you just hold grudges for 6 months.
There's so much crying on Christmas, and I'm tired of people crying on Christmas.
Yeah.
There's about a 10-year stretch for every Christmas in my family, and I don't think anyone's listening, but in the event they are, there was always crying.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't do it. I understand being sad, but there's also a lot of inherent pressure that every Christmas has to be better than the last, which is extreme pressure to think about sustaining every year for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Financially, socially, romantically, not possible. And I think it kind of helped me to get humbled and just realize that you can have a good Christmas of just 2 buds and a 6-pack.
Exactly.
If that's what you want to do, that's what you can do.
Exactly. And for Christmas this year, for example, I'm not going to be able to make it to one of our family's Christmases because it's being held on Christmas Eve, and I work that day, and it would just be too late for me to get there. And I just let them know, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm not going to be able to make that drive and get there late and then not have to stay very long. So I'm just going to be doing Christmas Eve just here, hanging out with myself and then enjoying the next day.
Yeah, that's when you get the text I just think it's funny that you don't love your family. It's always that hostile. Yeah. Just I'm going to not just fight you, I'm planning to fucking destroy you.
The extreme.
And nothing disarms that faster than, nah. It's you say what you want. I'm confident.
It's when you put in PTO at your regular day job months in advance, and you're just I'm putting in PTO for this day, and they're oh, okay, we'll double check that, make sure you take off. No, I'm letting you know with ample time that I'm not going to be here 3 months from now. You should find somebody to cover that space.
I also just honesty is the best policy. If there are times where if you say oh, we didn't get together for a big family holiday this year, it's oh, I wasn't. You text every morning I'm not feeling great. Everyone knows that's a lie. You should be I don't feel like doing it. I wish you all the best, but I'm not doing it.
Right.
No, it's just that simple. I don't think I'm going to. I'm just not doing it.
Yeah.
Yep. There's no motive or no like backlash or anything. I'm just
It's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
And if people are upset by that, they're not the people you need to surround yourself with.
And then also for personal reasons, over the past like 4, almost 5 years, I have purposely skipped either a family Thanksgiving or a family Christmas just for A, to save face for myself, and B, there is nothing but constant arguing that would happen on one side of our family. And it was one of those things like, I don't want to be around that. I don't want to ruin my holiday with that. I'm just going to skip this one.
On a day where it's like, oh, we're supposed to feel as happy as ever.
Yeah.
Peace on earth, goodwill towards men.
Yeah.
I'm going to surround myself with a bunch of dick bags.
Yeah.
I can't keep it together because I have to.
Yeah.
That's incongruent to me.
Yeah, and it just made, and it was one of those things like I would tell him like, oh, I'm not coming to this one. It's just like going into the garage to separate ourselves from everybody else and just getting drunk so we can avoid being around these people at a holiday, and we would just go get our food and get our plates and eat in the garage and drink beer is not worth it to me making the drive. I would rather just be at home and eat my own food.
Do the same thing.
Yeah, do the same exact thing. I was like, I'd rather not make a drive to subject myself to negativity and just get drunk in the garage so that I can avoid it, and I'll just stay home today.
You know, personally speaking, it's also really empowering to be home on Christmas Day in a college town where no one's there.
Yeah.
I'm the only person in my neighborhood. I can just go for a walk and hear nothing and see nothing, and it kind of feels like this is my world. I get a little slice to me today.
Right.
I serve the students, I dodge the townies, I gotta make sure my car doesn't hit any deer, but today there's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I can just simply be.
Yeah.
Just smoke a doob on the patio.
I can just be bum squeezy and fucking
That's
rip
right.
one.
Amen.
That's right.
Hail Santa.
Hail Santa. Male Santa. Okay, so like, this one other thing. It's like I'm not religious, so that really takes the Christ out of Christmas real fucking fast. But the whole thing is just kind of a cocktail of various folklores that are way before my time.
Mm-hmm.
Even I love the concept of a modern Krampus, a disciplinarian monster that assaults children for not behaving. I think that's hilarious at face value, but I don't believe in it.
Throws them in a bag.
The inventor of the cat of nine tails.
Yeah. But like, I'm not religious. I don't have a lot of folklore tied to my family. I'm a mutt, like 5th generation from Indiana. Realistically, what I do for whatever year is the tradition. I get to be the center of that. And I'm not,
Right.
I feel like if I didn't go to Christmas Mass or I didn't eat a ham on Christmas Eve or have a tree, I'm like, that's fine. It's other people's shit. I don't really do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing that really kept my spirits up is our mom makes one specific dish every Christmas. And that's the only time she makes it. So that's really the only reason why I was like, you making this? And she goes, well, I thought about it. I was like, no, you have to make it. It's Christmas.
Yeah,
you make it one time a year. You have to make this.
Listen here, winch.
Breakfast casserole?
It's breakfast casserole.
I made it last year.
Breakfast casserole and her Heath bar cake.
Yep.
I got a good buddy. His best friend at one point in my life. We just don't see each other as much as we want. But like, his mom makes lasagna every Christmas. And it's like the best lasagna I've ever... I was privileged to sit in for a night. He and his brother watched the NBA on Christmas Eve because there's like 6 games. So it's just Christmas, basketball, and lasagna. And I'm like, it's actually pretty sick.
Yeah.
I like the basketball lasagna route.
I actually had a roommate at one point in time that birthdays for him didn't really represent like a lot of positivity when he was growing up.
Yeah.
So instead of cake, he would literally make lasagna. So I had a roommate and he would literally just make lasagna. So for his birthday, we made him lasagna for his birthday.
That's sweet.
Because he didn't want a cake. He's like, I never want a cake, so I just started swapping cake for lasagna, and he told us that story because his birthdays really never really represented a happy time, and birthday cakes he thought were overrated for something that he thought was just not a happy time for him. So he swapped it for lasagna when he was a kid, and so we made him a lasagna for his birthday.
That's terrific. Did you put candles in it?
Yeah.
You sweetheart. That's perfect.
I
That's the nicest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it was super cool. Yeah, it was a really fun time. He's like, usually I don't make anything. I just go grab a Stouffer's family size lasagna. I mean, like the best frozen lasagna you can have.
Yeah.
Stouffer's lasagna is fucking last time top tier.
I get those military pans from like Sam's Club. They're like 30 pounds.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, go.
You say
you have to cook them at 500 degrees for
for like 90 minutes.
Yeah, for an hour and a half.
I was gonna say last time.
And then what's my dumbass do? I immediately spoon some. I'm like, oh, it's hot.
Yeah. I was gonna say last time we had the family size stuff for lasagna. Them two chicks ate 2/3 of it, and one of them shit on our dryer in college.
That was a thing. That was a thing. She also had sex on our dryer.
She had sex on the dryer. There was a big old.
She into like mech or like anime or anything.
But anyway, she ate lasagna and had sex on our dryer, and there was a big brown stain on it for a year. And then finally, our landlord took it out there to put it in their house.
Shot it to put it up.
Yeah, he did. He fixed it up because it was broken. And put it in the other house.
This horse only has 3 good legs.
Yeah. Pow! But he fixed it up to put it in another house. I'm like, did you notice that brown stain on the dryer? And he's like, oh yeah, we just wiped that right off. I was like, well, some chick got fucked on that dryer, and that brown stain was probably shit. And he's like, are you fucking kidding me?
We're like, no, I'm pretty sure we're not. It was the first party we had that year.
Mm-hmm.
It was our sophomore year of college. It was the first party we ever had. There's just like these 2 random girls. It's always those random. It doesn't even have to be girls. It's just that random person that's just standing in the kitchen or standing there the whole time, and they just have like the same drink for like 3 hours.
Yeah, not really joining convo, but just kind of staring through.
And we're just kind of like, who invited Negative Nancy over here? And they're just like,
but she got.
I don't know. They're like, how do we not know who invited this person that's in our house?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that's a horrifying feeling.
They're just like, all right, lock the bedroom doors just in case they like steal something. And you're just like, who invited this person?
I mean, she got laid and skid marked on her dryer.
Yeah.
And that was the thing, was like she had like it looked like a bear like fucking
the Maytag man came to visit.
Yeah. She had
it turns out you do need some maintenance, man.
Well, I mean, if you watch those latest commercials, I mean that he's pretty good with those hands doing that like mobile dryer.
No, I mean like half of her face looked like it was built by claymation. So I mean,
God,
yeah,
wasn't her fault.
No, it wasn't her fault, but good for her.
It was her parents' fault.
No, it was her parents' fault.
She thought it was okay to fuck on a dryer.
Should have wiped her ass.
It wasn't hers.
Should have wiped her ass when she got fucked on the dryer.
Yeah. Common mistake. All too common.
Yeah. Maybe she wasn't planning to have sex. It was the first week of
school. The lasagna was running through her.
It was the first week of school. School hadn't even started yet. It was the weekend before school. Maybe she wasn't planning on it.
Maybe she wasn't.
I never know.
Probably not.
We had wet wipes for a reason. You could have offered her one.
You could have offered her one.
Yeah.
We're playing the blame game. Yes. Isn't that nice?
Yeah. I wasn't even there.
Sure. Likely story.
Yeah. For sure.
The Christmas party, though, in college was always, like, a fucking big one. Because it's like, we'd have parties on Thursdays, and it was always, like, everybody's leaving the next day to leave for, like, a month. Because we had, like, a month off of Christmas.
Yeah, so it's going to be a dramatic goodbye.
It was always a fucking rager. And we didn't even have a Christmas tree.
No.
We didn't even put lights up. It was just a Christmas party. And everybody was, like, wearing Christmas stuff. And I was like, what's everybody wearing Christmas stuff for? It was just another Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a kind of a weird thing, but it's a true statement. I'm admitting my bias. I did not meet a person who was Jewish or outwardly Jewish until I moved to college. And so I had, like, 8 Jewish people or kids from Jewish backgrounds on my dorm floor. And so, like, there was a bona fide Hanukkah week or so where every night in the, like, rec room we got together. And it was supposed to be, like, real resident hall level activity, like spin a dreidel, win some gold. And, you can learn about the whole story of Hanukkah and why we light the menorah. And then it just turned into, like, the Jewish guys grabbing the mic and just be like, we're listening to Neil Diamond, the Beastie Boys, MGMT, and we're just going to get drunk on Manischewitz. Everyone in? I'm like, yes, absolutely. So it was really fun. I'm like, Hanukkah kind of fucking rules.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I just felt like if we're doing a holiday episode, it's like, I know Hanukkah's not the most important Jewish holiday, but like for a week on my dorm floor, I'm like, this kind of fucking slaps.
Yeah.
You folks from New York and Los Angeles and Chicago really are different, but you're pretty cool.
One Christmas party I went to was at somebody else's house, and we got invited, and it was not a very big place, but in that small town where we went to college, everybody's just like, fit in an apartment where you can, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's this building with like 4 apartments, and it doesn't even look like that the people live there, but it's just like fit in where you can. So we went to this house party, and it was completely packed. and everybody's playing beer pong. Well, the beer pong table takes up the entire living room.
Right.
I was like, you're using up so much space.
Well, you can sleep on it.
Yeah. So we got invited to this Christmas party, and it was freezing. I remember that. It was absolutely freezing. We walked there because it was only a couple blocks away, and we walk in, and we were just looking around talking to people because we knew a couple people there. And we look in the corner, and there's just this grown-ass man in the corner, and he's just, like, talking to, like, some people. We're like, who's that guy? And they go, oh, he just kind of showed up. He said he used to go here. I'm like, when? 1995?
yeah, he was really something before electricity.
And then it turns out somebody asked him how old he was. Like, it was me and, like, a couple friends, and then, like, a couple girls. So there was, like, 5 or 6 of us that went there together. And one of the girls that I was with walked up and asked him. He was like 35 at the time. We're like, where the fuck did he just get off of his shift at fucking JC?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
He worked the railroad.
And he's just like drinking a Bud Light like everything was cool. And I'm like, who's this grown-ass man?
He looks like an old, like, Southwestern prospector. He's got like a little coonskin cap and a bunch of pans and he's rattling together.
Yeah, I was like,
who is this guy?
He was very distinguishable because at the time he... had like no hair, a big beard, and he was like 6'5", and he looked like he just got out of the coal mines. Like he looked like he worked for a living. I was like, you just get off your shift at like Pizza Hut or something? He's like, yeah, I used to go to school here, and I'm like, fucking when? What decade?
Yeah.
It was insane that somebody's like, we should go. And I'm like, yeah, we should go because he's starting to talk to our friends.
Yeah, this is really fucked up. Nothing's good. Nothing.
I was like, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
And then one of the guys we were with that I didn't know very well, but one of my friends was friends with him, proceeded to knock all of the cups off of the beer pong table, so water went everywhere.
What a turd.
And then we just got kicked out, and he almost got into a fight. And I was like, we should probably just go.
We should probably just
And I was like, I looked at him, I go, why'd you do that? And he goes, oh, might as well. And he's just laughing. I was like, you're an idiot. And I looked at my buddy, and I was like, we're never hanging out with him again.
Is this the time that you got the yard sign thrown at you and got a cut on your forehead?
No, that wasn't that night. That was one of our friends that threw it.
I know, one of the drunk guys,
Friends.
one of our drunk friends that it was like, he was pissed drunk and then picked up like a for sale sign out of a yard and just threw it at Cody and just like slashed his fucking forehead down the middle.
I had blood coming down my head.
Yeah.
God damn.
It wasn't like a deep gash, but it was like, it's one of the plastic cardboard looking signs. So I had like checker.
Oh, yeah, you
pattern
get a
on my
little
forehead.
mesh on your forehead.
Yeah. And I was like, why'd you do that? He's like, oh no. And he's just laughing. I was like, we're going back.
Yeah. Good going there, Don Rickles. You
Yeah.
fucking asshole. real funny.
Yeah.
Good funny guy here.
Oh, God.
For sure.
All right. You want to wrap this thing up?
Yeah, let's end this piece.
Jeff's got wrestling tonight.
I do.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. That is the episode. Thank you so much for listening.
But wait, before we do that.
Okay.
One of my favorite traditions is when Christmas falls or Christmas Eve falls on the day that wrestling is aired on a major TV program. I watch it. This year, Monday Night Raw falls on Christmas Eve. And I remember, before we go on and tell the story, in 2012, I had one of these open houses in my basement where all my friends that were like, 22 came over. And we're all just hanging out and watching Monday Night Raw. The episode begins with Alberto Del Rio running over Santa Claus and has to save the day within 2 hours. Worth checking out if you get the opportunity.
This is going to be a wild ride this year.
Yeah, anyway, as you were saying, be well, don't run over Santa with your car.
Yeah. He has places to be.
Yeah, people to do.
Dildos to make.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. That is the episode. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for downloading. Of course, we love the absolute fucking shit out of you. We couldn't do this show without you. Go rate and review this podcast on whatever platform you listen to. Go follow us on all our shit. Go follow Jeff Moose.
B-Town Moose.
At B-Town Moose
At
on
B-Town
Instagram
Moose.
and Twitter.
Yeah. Go follow the Mooster. Hashtag bum squeezy. But yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Hashtag squeeze your bum.
Let's end this fucking shit.
Jeff, do you have anything you want to plug?
No, I mean, for real, not at this time. I just want to say, be well and do unto others. It's a difficult time of the year. It's disguised as the happiest time of the year, but it can be very depressing. If you need help, reach out to a friend. You're never alone.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much. We will see you next time. Have a safe Christmas. Have a wonderful New Year. And be safe, be merry, and love the ones you love. And when life gets hard and life gets you down, you milk that motherfucking pig, people.
Peace!
We out.
Santa Claus, make him do it.
Jingle, jingle.